All right, so we're with Andy, who just bought this skid steer, and it doesn't work because mice chew through the wires, and then somebody decided to start with the wiring job, and then they couldn't get it going, and they just left it. Perfect job for us. Here we go. Will it even pull it? Will it even pull it?
I bet. I'll give you one of your Heinekens.
All right.
You owe me a off sprout.
Sounds good.
All right. Ah! Yeah, I got it.
It's not pulling in, it's putting the deck underneath.
Either way, I think I win.
You know, you just switch it on, I don't have to work to get it running, so we're both winning, really. If you think about it, really. I think, yeah, we need to off the side of the deck, like right here, I think.
Pivot point.
Pivot point. Like pivot point's kind of in the middle, so the side of the deck, like right here.
All right.
We got books to tell us how to disconnect the tracks here. This is a lot of reading. A lot of papers. Perfect. Like I measured that. I measured how big is that gap.
Yeah, I thought you said hypotenuse at one point.
Can you drop the deck at all? You got it.
You twisted the chain.
Watch your face. Is that what this winch is rated for?
Yeah. Hopefully it's got like 100% failure capacity or whatever.
I can't believe it's pulling. The winch is like, oh. Yeah. I'm done. That's it.
I think
Let's jump on the deck and try to slide the deck underneath rather than trying to winch that on.
I don't know. Instead, I'm going to try to lift it up, try to slide the deck underneath.
Thanks, genius. So now you got to get the truck more underneath. Hey, wait. Their truck's just going in the air. I think that'll help. I think if he's got a jack that will roll on the trailer and you take some of the weight off the front and you keep pulling the truck underneath, I think that will work. Nice and slow.
Should have been on there by now. I don't know what's going on with it.
Yeah. We just have some siding underneath it. You're 3/4 on this side. Yeah, okay.
Usually brings up the chalk line, you're like...
If I sit in the cab, it would probably... Woo! Wow. that just...
That's a lift!
That would just do it, yeah.
Yeah. If it was a little bit bigger of a skid steer, impossible.
If the fuel tank was full, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa! What was that?
It was on the rail.
And it slid on the rail? Okay.
Yeah.
That's it, whoa! That's all you got. There you go, you got her.
Yeah.
Nice, all right, strap her down, put the cab back down.
What's legal limit for height?
13.5?
Ow, we're at 13.4. I can tell just by looking.
13.4.
13.4. 13.4. It identifies as 13.4.
Okay, she's on there.
Yeah. Like you don't have to worry about
Just legal height. And then just throw some chains on it and take her home, see if we can fire it up. Okay, so we're home. It's not unloaded yet. Kind of want to hear it run. It's just a mechanical pump. We'll just bypass it and see if it moves. But it is late on a weekend. I'm supposed to go home. He's supposed to have dinner. Oh, I need a star. If you've got a torque set, then I can get it running. Not the biggest one, but not the smallest one. Okay, so all I'm doing is taking the shut off solenoid off. And then we just bump the starter and I... Oh, I thought it would have went.
So any bypasses will be bypassed now?
Yeah.
Like, so seat bypass and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Everything that would shut it off.
Yeah, but that on off. Oh, there might be there's another wire down here. So I'm wondering if that shuts off fuel. Because this doesn't feel like it's moving.
So bridge that across. It's either going to go or it's going to cost an extra $2,000 to get fixed.
Yeah. No, that should have went. Unless it's out of fuel. I have to crack injector lines to see if we're getting fuel. But from here, it's tools at my house.
Okay.
It's starting over.
Yeah.
Starter's not screwed.
No. So, yeah. Glass is half full.
Oil level's where it's supposed to be, so that's good.
Nice.
It's not seized. So I might also need an electronic pump to turn on. So yeah, there's a couple things that have to happen.
All right.
Okay. Okay, we got the tow truck back. Next day, it was raining all day. The forklift tied to a tree. We're gonna tie that to the forklift, and then we're gonna unload it. Tighten the chains. At this point, Andy will tighten it up and just drive away nice and slow. Yeah, try to get the deck out from underneath. Yeah, it's not going the right way.
Crikey, looks like there's a wrench right at the back. Oh, it is. This is in its natural habitat. Straight at the back of a truck. Looks to be rusty. Oh, it came back me. No. It's just fixing the chain. It is a wrench. It is a... Oh, he spit his chain at me.
Oh, yeah.
Way smarter than what you look. That's
I know, right? No. Try a tractor. No need to keep going. We're already out. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Okay, sun shining again. Now, I kind of hot wired this thing to get it going. And I'm positive I can get it going. There's a filter here, there's the pump. Give that positive, negative, that'll pump fuel through here to the injection pump. That's your throttle, and underneath that, what I took apart is the shut off, but it doesn't feel like this on the injection pump. It doesn't feel like that lever's doing anything. That was just to see if we could get it running quickly on the float. The issue is that somebody's been in here doing all sorts of neat stuff. Everything's been tore apart. And the issue is that everything that's got fresh black tape on it has been touched by somebody who did something. We've got wires here that are chewed and just twisted together. that don't do anything, plugs that don't go anywhere. And looking at the manual, this was for the key switch. To me, that looks like it would go here, and there's a hole there. So is the key switch missing? This is all original, obviously, but from what I was told, the mice chewing was from down there. It powers up, the key switch comes on, the fuel was empty, so that's something. And then it's got start here, so we don't have a key switch, but I find that odd that there's no key code or anything to prevent anybody from stealing this. That is just the radio, so that's not the key code. So I think, even though I do want to hear it run, I do think that that is kind of a waste of time, because there's just too many other things going on with this thing that I think we'll pull the cab up and pull this loom off and then see what's actually going on here, trying to connect wires that are the same color to the places that they're supposed to go. So like this one, why is there two wires here that are, there's a black and a yellow, and those don't go anywhere? Aye, what a mess. But I'm up for a challenge, and this will be interesting for you guys who know these machines, who will be watching me the entire time going, don't do that, you idiot. But that's okay, because why is the headliner down? Why am I swearing in the headliner? There's nothing there for you. Aye. Anyway, here we go. Okay, so I don't know. I started pulling the harness out, and if you can see, that's terrible lighting, but there is a red wire there. See that red wire? That wire is connected to a solenoid, and that solenoid is connected to that positive battery terminal. Solenoid, the wire from this terminal to the other side of that solenoid, is completely rotten off. So that solenoid is toast, and so is the wire going to it, which could be the root of all of our problems, because that comes directly from the battery and goes to the starter, and then from the starter it goes right to that solenoid. So yay! I don't know if it's even solenoid, could just be an amp or like a fuse. So we'll look at the wiring schematic and go from there, but that's a major problem. I'm sure it has something to do with this. And the cat is disappointed we didn't buy a Caterpillar. Yeah? Hey kitty? Yes, you kitty. This is the main wiring harness that I think is the problem. There's a couple green connections there, a couple wires poking out of the fuse box that I think he attempted to hotwire, whoever he was. I've got it all completely disconnected except for one wire, one main run that goes underneath the engine. And that's gross, because there's no pans on the bottom of this thing. There's no bolt holes to cover up the pans either. What's going on is, as you're driving, I don't know if you can see the ground through there, crap comes up, but it never has a chance to really disappear. It just sits here. And underneath the engine, same thing. And when that happens, they've got stupid things like a connection for the positive down in that mud, which rots away. And even things like this filter, who I think people have long forgotten about this filter and probably don't even know that it's there because it's caked in so much mud. So we're gonna give this thing a good clean, see if I can get the harness out. I don't think the issue is the harness that goes underneath the engine, but I'd like to take it out and put it on the bench, clean it up, start over. And we've been having non-stop rain here, which makes it really annoying because I can't really put this thing inside, but I'd like to be able to put it on the bench and test each wire rather than doing it on the side here. So I got my wife's gardening spade. We're gonna scoop out some of this crap, blow it out, pressure wash it out, and kind of start over. Might as well do a service on it because I don't think that was on the top of the priority list. Wash off some of this grease. Most of it is just dirt and clay and whatever else, but I'll do this and then have a good shower after because this is a disgusting job. So here we go. Okay, so we've got the harness here, and I've spent a good couple hours cleaning and vacuuming and getting rid of all the crap at the bottom here, but this harness still goes underneath the engine. Doesn't go to that computer, it disappears off into the side there. and it is still buried in a pile of dirt. I can't really get at it, so they must lay the harness in the machine first, and then they plunk the engine in as it goes down the assembly line, not really thinking that you're ever going to pull this harness out. So I'm going to strip it as best as I can here, and clean this up here, because I know, I think what happened was the mice chewed it. They pulled on this harness here and disrupted this fuse. This was down by the battery down there. It's a 60 amp fuse, and that feeds an entire fuse box. So you can see how corroded and dirty and crappy this thing is. So we'll clean that up. The one, I broke the one terminal off, this one, but the other one, that's the reason why it won't run. I'm 90% sure. So I'm gonna clean this up. I'm gonna replace this fuse. I've got a 60 amp fuse left over from one of the painless kits, so we're gonna throw that in. And I'm just gonna take all this loom off that was disturbed and make sure that the wiring is clean. I ordered from Amazon just a bunch of these spade connectors so we can replace the corroded ones and get rid of this wiring. Luckily, he left me enough wire that this is where the black wire went, this is where the black wire went, this is where the orange wire went to there, and then he was poking around in a bunch of wires here. So this one, I gotta clean that up. But anyway, I'll clean all these up, get rid of the ones that are all corroded, and we'll be laughing. Either from insanity or laughing because we're gonna be doing wheelies in this nice track machine. So here we go. Okay, so this must be where the mice chewed through. There's a whole bunch of spade or butt connectors there. I just don't understand what the thinking was here, because we've got red wire, not heat shrinked all the way, to a white wire to back to the red, but the red is actually long enough to touch, so they've made extra connections there for no reason. We got orange going to red and then back to orange again, and we've got little white wire in between the red wires, and this doesn't need to be in here. And then not all of them are heat shrunk. They're close, but like this is where the moisture gets in and then rots it away. Found a couple more connections down here with bare wires there on my thumb there, so I'm gonna replace that. It's pretty straightforward. On the fuse box, of course, I got the wrong ones. They don't fit. But on the fuse box, all he did was put this to another relay somewhere. So we got the wire coming from the fuse going to the relay, and then this goes to the red wire. That's the relay and the ground, and then the trigger. So I might just put a relay on it, just like he did, just to make sure it's working, and try to order the spade terminals again. Instead of using these two, I can move the relay over. I don't even have to pull those spade terminals out, and I can use these two and this two, and just plug those off, and then move my relay over one spade, and then I just have to plug them into the back of the thing and try to keep it nice and neat. So we'll clean all that up with some proper crimpers and proper butt connectors and heat shrink, and we'll tidy that up. I don't think it's past saving. I just gotta make sure that the numbers match on the wires from one end to the next, and that it's going where it's supposed to go. Okay, so I cut all this stuff out and then some. I threw it around. Stuff like this is terrible. It wasn't even covered up. Just twist it together, and that was underneath tape. And then a whole bunch of like these ones, why we're changing colors and have 3 connectors. There was actually another one right about here. I don't know what happened there. It looks much neater now. We've got everything kind of tied away into one thing. Fixed all the wiring issues down below here. We'll tie this up, and then we're gonna loom it, because if there is a problem, I'm buying a new harness. That was probably the better part of a day to fix all this with the relay and that. So I'm not going to chase my tail anymore. Every time we do one of these connections, it leaves room for moisture to get in and cause problems later. Now, they use these heat shrink terminals, which I do like. I've used them, but this is not the right machine for that, because when you crimp them, you do crimp them with these guys. And these guys do a good job, and it does crimp it nicely in that little hollow. But occasionally you do poke a hole in the sheathing, and that leaves room for moisture to get in again. So I do prefer these guys. steel or aluminum, as long as they are a solid one piece. They come in a lot different sizes, so you can go to the different gauges and stack wires if you have to, because in the factory harness they've got lots of stacked wires. Lots of reds feed the same thing, and lots of oranges feed the same thing, like this. That's a factory one. So with that, you can do a really nice crimp on these ones using these pliers. They do like a 4-sided crimp, looks like, when you jam it in there nice and tight. I don't know if it's even supposed to be like that, but not sure where I got these from, tool aids. But then you put your shrink wrap over top. I got a whole container full. Then there's no chance of wrecking the sheathing. So I've had good luck with that. Again, this machine is in water, mud, and dirt all the time. So you want to do a good job, take your time, grab the other harness, put everything back the way it was, plug everything back in again, and then we'll see if it fires up. Here we go. So the harness down here is pretty well tied up and cleaned up. I found 2 bad rotten connections on 2 main terminals, including this massive fuse here, one of them. So replace the ends on them, clean them up nice. That was this main relay, as a massive relay. So that was broken. The main battery cable for this harness was broken, so I replaced that. A nice new heat shrunk end on that. Those were still attached, but just barely. And then this was the main cable that was rotten. This one feeds that same fuse. So for that, bigger terminal, so that's the 2 gauge, slide that on and then crimp it. I do like this kit. This was off Amazon, just a hydraulic pump with different dies on it, different sizes, that will just squeeze that fitting. It's a 6-sided crimp on it, and that, and some more shrink tube and positive colors, and that's all cleaned up. I'm going to go over this harness coming out the front. There's a couple wires that went underneath this thing, and I don't want to pull all that apart. I can work on it fine out here. It's a beautiful day. And a couple things I noticed already. This red terminal here, if you can see that, doesn't actually make it all the way to the end. That's all rotten, so I'll pull that out, clean those up. Basically just pull the tape off and make sure that this is the factory tape, which is probably fine. There's nothing going on underneath there. That from here over has been touched, so just peel that off and take a look at what's going on underneath. Blow all these nice and clean, put a little bit of dielectric grease on there, and then plug everything back in again. That's the best we can do, and hopefully that fixes it. So things like this are like the most impossible thing to diagnose, because that would not hold a spade at all, but would sometimes work and then sometimes won't work, depending on the way it's leaning or how much moisture's in the air or whatever. So we'll replace all those with a new holder. There's a special holder that you slide this out, and that's what pulls the spade out, but I'll just put the pop-in connections on. And there was no relay in here, but I'll put one in because I'm sure it does something. It's probably meant to turn something on. There we go. Okay, so I have everything plugged back in again. It's kind of roughly laying there neatly, but I did not get my loom in time, so I didn't loom it. It doesn't take that long now that I know where everything's kind of rooted. Everything's still labeled. I can just grab it again and tuck that away and loom this up nicely and nice and neat. But I want to tip the cab back and see if it actually does anything. So this is the exciting part of the job, because right now I've done everything perfect. Everything, I feel confident about everything. I'm happy, and I'm not upset that it's not even cranking over. We'll see if it fires up. I think I found a couple problems that would stop. I found about 4 problems that would keep this thing from starting. I think I got them. I wouldn't have been able to find those without pulling the harness completely apart and out of the machine, so I'm glad. I don't regret anything as of yet. It's good. Let's see how I feel in about 20 minutes. Here we go. Even if it cranks over, I'll be happy. But we'll see. Heard a beep. turning over now. For another safety. I think. Is it smoking?
Battery's dead.
All right, we got ignition for something. It's cranking. Woo!
Battery's pretty low. We'll try again. No smoke.
Okay, so we have it cranking, turning over, but only some of these fuses are active, are live. So what I did was, even though it doesn't have a key switch, there's a plug for a key. So if I jump it from here to the center one, it cranks over, turns over. So that does the same thing as when I hit the start button here. But if I jump it from there to what I think is the ignition, the rest of these relays come live and the fuses, a lot more fuses turn on. So what I need to do is hear the fuel pump kick on. It's just a little primer pump, and then I know that it's live. Now, there's a big relay here at the back, that one that I fixed all the plugs on, but I don't know if it's turning on or not, and it's hard to check because you got to sit in the seat and do a bunch of stuff. So I also hot wired this one. So I just took the terminal, see that little wire there? I don't know if you can see it. I just jumped it. I tried to start it, and same thing. And looking, the only relay that didn't turn on was this one. So these three relays are all live, and I think this one is your main ignition. So I'm going to jump this one. I figured out which one was the ground, which was the one in the corner here. I'm gonna jump it across and see if it turns on, and then see if I've got power. So here we go. It should sit in the seat and it should beep. Okay, that's good. Now, my seatbelt light is flashing. So to make sure that the seatbelt is working, basically just plug it in. Come on, there we go. Okay, so the seat light belt went off, but I need to see the glow plug light come on and probably some other stuff. So if I do back into ignition here, okay, I can hear these relays turning on, so that's like putting your key on, but I still don't have the glow plug. So I got my wire. Oh, I hear the injection. I hear that fuel pump. I see my glow plug light is on. That's good. Someone's beeping. I don't know. Nice. Parking brake switch here. Does that work? No. It's alive. Nice! Woohoo! Oh, now you know what this means is that Andy helped us fix the 95 and the 55. So the deal is, he can grab that whenever he wants. Go on a date with his wife in the 55 or use the 95 for driving around. But that also means that now that I fixed this, I don't have to bill him for this. I got free rental on a skid steer whenever I need it. Oh, that is exciting. Nice. Now I just got to figure out what's doing what. So if I don't do this one, everything's dead. Wonder if I get up. Okay, so that lights that up again. So parking's on. So if I jump it again. Okay, so that's seat belt. So even I don't hear the pump running. Nice, so I don't need that one. The only way to shut it off is with that. So let's go back and plug that relay back in again and see if that's it, maybe? I don't know. So if we just plug a relay in, that still does nothing. No. So that relay has nothing, but wondering if when I turn this over, okay, so when I do that, I think I heard the relay in the back turn on. Yeah, glow plug light is on. So right now I can't turn it off. That sucks. So there is still an issue, and this one is irrelevant. Well, I can make it relevant by getting the key switch for this, putting it in that hole, and just running a wire from there to this fuse box to turn that relay on. It's kind of cheating, but it will work. All right, so here's the game plan. I'm going to pull it into the shop where it's out of the rain and out of the sun, pull my harness again, trace the wire from that relay that's supposed to turn that relay on, and see where that wire goes. Then I'm going to loom everything because I think my wiring harness is good enough. Maybe we'll get the lights, make sure the lights are working, the fan's working. Tidy everything back up again and start moving some dirt. Here we go. Nice. We got a fan. Oh, sweetness. I don't know if you can really see all the crap that came out, but this was a nice driveway at some point. And just the amount of dirt that came out of the bottom of that, and it's stupid design, terrible. Oh, lots of cleanup. Okay, I got my loom, so we're ready to tidy this up, but I'm gonna cheat. So that relay for the main ignition is not coming on. I don't know why, but there's one thing I do know is that this wiring is absolutely terrible. Not that mice have chewed at it and somebody's hacked it. From factory, this wiring is a disaster. Now there's lots of videos on YouTube about the atrocities that the New Holland engineer designed this thing for, because we've got a mechanical engine with mechanical injection, mechanical controls, and we have 50 miles of wiring in this thing. Completely unnecessary, completely a disaster. If I was in that meeting with the engineers that designed the wiring, some feelings would be hurt because there'd be some yelling. There's no reason to have this many wires running that simple of controls. We've got two fuse boxes in horrible locations. We've got a main circuit breaker buried in the mud. Whoever designed this needs a kick in the head, and it will only make them smarter. What I'm gonna do is, I already installed the key switch here, so that key I'm going to run a single wire to that relay. I'm going to jump in at the bottom of the relay and turn that relay on with my key power. This will turn the ignition on and off, so that allows you to actually start it from here too if you want, or you can use these controls. I don't understand why it didn't have a key to begin with. Some of these have codes that you can put in. You gotta hold like 6 different buttons, and trying to explain that to somebody who just wants to get in and give you a hand for a Saturday on how to start this thing with a code and whatnot. There's a key. Turn the key on, start it, and when you're done with it, you just turn it off. So we're gonna run that nice and neatly down into the loom. We're gonna cover that, so if anybody opens this up, they'll be like, okay, well that's what happened. We'll button everything back up again, put all the screws back in it again. I already put this back in again, found a couple screws kicking around, thanks to the neighbor for dropping off the box, because these were odd threads, but I got them. So it saves me a trip into town. And we'll make this nice and neat, and we'll fire this thing up in the afternoon and do some work with it. See what else is wrong. This is the handle that releases the safety, and she sees solid, but it is just roll pins that hold this on, so we'll knock that out, clean that up, never sees it, put that back on, because this goes, the wiring kind of goes through here. I kind of want to do this before the wiring gets in the way. So, yeah, another stupid idea. Why would you have a collar that long? That's obviously going to seize. We got Andy. Good timing, actually. He brought the 55, and I haven't actually tried it yet. I don't know if I fixed the relay issue. We'll hop in there and see if it makes some noise. Fired up. I got the safety figured out. We'll close the hatch at the back. Okay, so turn the key on. So you gotta put your seatbelt on. You can clip it behind you.
Like on that button there, you mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got hydraulics working.
Yep.
So now you can lift up on your arms and then pull on this handle back here. That should retract your pins, so then you can drop your bucket down. That's the first time the bucket will be down in, I don't know, a year? Almost a year? Try it. That's it. Go up. There you go. Keep going. The hydraulics like sag, right? Yeah. So now you can pull your pin. Hold on. They haven't moved in a while. Like forward or back won't work. There you go. Yeah, you got it. Woo. But just like you weren't using your man muscle. Okay, drop it down. Oh. Just purrs like a kitten, eh? Like it sounds good.
Yeah. I'm gonna put on like 1,000 hours in the next like 2 months. Guaranteed. I guarantee that.
Okay, I'll move to 55 and then I'll guide you up.
Alright. I love how much Rich trusts me in the shop. A machine I've never driven.
Front end that way. Back up. Back up. He's just nervous because he's on camera. He doesn't want to wreck my nice floor.
Not meant to be in a cage. Oh man, this is exciting. That was great timing.
Is your heart pounding?
No,
Are you excited?
sweating too much.
Turn that way. You're gonna hit some. Other way. Turn that way. Yeah. Yeah. Back up. Straight back. Throttle up. Give her some throttle. No, your that handle, the black handle. Right there. Yeah.
So that's good. But we got to go over the entire thing yet, figure out what works and what doesn't. So I got to hook up that relay to get it to work off the key, and that shouldn't be a big deal. I must have just hit the wrong prong. We'll get that figured out, but full service, make sure that the high and the low speed works and everything else. But I think Andy's happy. So wiring, I don't know what to say. Hopefully you guys learned something off of this. Hopefully some of you guys can get something out of this video. But I think Andy's happy. I got to get going on the tank. The guys from the museum are coming to look at the Shermanator, go over that with us. So lots of good stuff coming up. That was a fun project. It took about a week, but yeah, I'm happy, and I think Andy's happy. So remember, if you're not filthy, you're not rich, get out there and work on it. Here we go.